last 1 month, the nation has witnessed over 10 fire incidents, which has resulted in the destruction of property worth millions of naira and also involved fatality. Lagos, Anambra, Oyo, and others have become some of the states that have witnessed fire outbreaks. Our next report examines fire disasters across states.
Fire is said to be the greatest servant, but the worst master. Difficult to control when it turns into inferno, burning and destroying everything in its path. According to the Federal Fire Service, between 2013 and 2018, over 5 trillion naira was lost to inferno. Apart from scores of lives that were also lost. In January this year alone, several states in the country witnessed one form of fire disaster or another, starting from Lagos, the commercial capital of Nigeria. At the Lekbo area of the state, raging fire from the explosion of a vandalized NNPC pipeline killed about 2 persons and several houses were burned. Also, another multiple pipeline fire occurred along Fagba and Ekoro Road in the Ju area of the state. At the Amu market in Mushin, also in Lagos, wooden and polyvinyl materials worth millions of naira were consumed by fire. And in Lagos Island, fire occurred at the Martin Street beside Great Nigeria Limited, and the most recent is the one that hit Balogu Market this week. Still in the southwest, in Ogun State, over 300 shops were razed to the ground in an early morning inferno, which occurred at the popular Sabo Market in Shagamu local government area of the state. Oyo and Ekiti State were not left out. Moving to the southeastern region of the country, in Anambra State, over 400 shops were destroyed by the fire at the old motor spare parts market in Obosi, in the Idemili North local government area of the state, with property worth millions of naira damaged. In the northeastern part of the country, an overnight fire occurred at the Red Bricks housing estate in Damaturu, the Yobe state capital, burning down 2 blocks of apartments.
Aggressive.
For the Controller General of the Federal Fire Service, action must be taken to prevent these recurring disasters.
What Nigerians should expect in 2020 is aggressive public enlightenment in terms of fire safety.
People and infrastructure need protection against fire outbreak. Experts believe there is need for increased awareness and knowledge dissemination to reduce fire risk across the country.
Joining us to look at fire disasters across the country is Mr. Timothy Iwagu, a fellow, Institute of Safety Professionals of Nigeria, Lagos coordinator, safety expert as well. I want to thank you so much for joining us on the News at 10. What's the reason, really? Because this is just so widespread. What is the reason for the surge in fire outbreaks in our country today?
I think the reason for the surge is mainly the absence of consciousness among the people. The level of awareness needs to be beefed up too, because there's a relationship between awareness and consciousness. And I think it is a very serious embarrassment on the government and the people of Nigeria, because by the way we are hearing of fire incidents across the states, since last year it has just been something of every week one incident. And then you see we lost a lot at the World Health Organization facility in Osun State at Oshogbo. We had 2 incidents in Onitsha, close enough, one on the road to Enugu on the highway, and the other one that spilled across the road when a truck fell and gutted Ochanja Market. A whole lot of things. In Lagos, we have it repeatedly. And you look at it, it's about the level of awareness. The people are not exhibiting enough consciousness. And then you look at the side of the government. The government, when we had the National Fire Safety Code in 2013, People were very happy. But that code leaves a lot to be desired in implementation and interpretation.
What do you mean when you say it leaves much to be? You say implementation and interpretation.
Yes.
But when you have that code in place,
Yeah.
all the people need to do is just to call that hotline, and then you can get the fire service guys, which is what is the norm. That's what they usually do. The bone of contention happens to be that while the people, like the Balogun incident, while the people complain that the firefighters are arriving late, the firefighters have disputed that, saying that they came in on time. But access seems to be a challenge. How do you work around access to fire disaster points?
Exactly, that's what I'm talking about. The code, leaving a lot to be desired. The code is not just about calling the fire or the first responders, the emergency services. The code has a lot to do with the structuring of industrial environment, residential environment, commercial environment, how to prevent fire from spreading and engulfing adjoining facilities when one is involved, when one facility is involved in fire. Now, the code did not say much about how to go about the implementation. The code has outlined a lot of things there, but we are looking at situations where industrial facilities are interwoven with residential facilities. So estates are now having industrial activities. And then if you look at it, the population is growing. And the facilities for putting off fire, how do you expect fire service to come from a distance, a very long distance, to respond to something? You should site fire stations close to marketplaces, close to where you suspect, because there must be impact assessment before you cite certain things. If there are issues, how do you go about them? Ordinarily, let's assume all human factors fail, all efforts to mitigate or prevent fails. Do we have a deliberate policy to take care of the vulnerable citizens? Are there any insurance covers? Are there such things for marketplaces? These are areas where the people depend on their livelihood. And now we are concerned about this. Awareness. People are not acting as if they have memory of what happened just yesterday. So once it's over, everybody goes about their normal business, commits it.
So awareness in this instance is the key.
Yes, it's the key. And then look at the fabrication of our trucks, the tanker trucks. When they fall, they spill their content. By design and construction, the content of any truck is not supposed to be spilled when it falls.